Boys, gentle men among us. Welcome back to Ace Attorney. We're in the courthouse, in the courtroom. I have to investigate still. We're in the latter half of this case. It's the truth behind the KG8 incident. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out what that truth is. We're investigating defendant lobby number 1 today. Defendant lobby number 2 is where there was the double homicide. We got 2 bodies. Who killed them? I don't know. Detective Bad looks like he's designed to look like a bad guy, but I'm still gunning for Callisto Yu. I think she's the big bad, but I don't know how to prove it, and I really, for the life of me, I genuinely don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know how there's 2 dead people and how their bodies are on top of each other like they were having gay sex. It's all very mysterious. What I've learned in this investigation is I learned that Dick Gumshoe shared a cookie with a child. Did that, investigated, solved the case. Did I learn anything at all about how these 2 men were brutally murdered and placed on top of each other? That is a hard negative. I did not learn anything to that effect. So hopefully, today's the day where we'll get a little bit of information about that. Let me get my hellos in order. Toby, Apple Grayson, Jacob Welsh, Dave Abler, Timothy Watson, and Corinne says, and the rest of you, hi. Thank you for joining me on this quest. Let's get into it. Gym bathroom update. You know, it's funny you bring that up. Here's today's witty banter. So first of all, no. I don't have any fun updates about my gym's bathroom, but if you'll recall, if you didn't already hear this story, back when I was playing The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, I had a lot of complaints about the staff at my local Planet Fitness doing a really, really terrible job checking the men's bathroom stalls for toilet paper supply. Well, wouldn't you know? Planet Fitness has just earned a much worse reputation for their staff members not checking on their stuff, their accommodations. Now, this is not local to me. I don't even remember the state, but it popped up on my TikTok algorithm. There is a news story making its way. You can Google it right now if you want, and you guys can even drop where it happened, because I'm actually forgetting where. But one of the Planet Fitness gyms, somewhere in the country, a man died in their tanning beds, which sad, tragic, horrible. I don't know the cause of his death. I don't know if he had a heart attack or something crazy happened. I don't know how he died or why he died, but he died in the tanning bed. The bad look for Planet Fitness is he was not found for 3 days. The gym operated for 3 days with a dead man laying in one of their tanning beds, and not one staff member over the course of 3 days of rotating staff and employees and people working at the gym, did not one member go into that tanning room to go and clean the bed, go and check on the person, go and do something and realize, holy shit, there's a dead person in here. 3 days. And so that's about as bad of a look as you can get. And also, if you're somebody who uses those tanning beds, you might be like, okay, so for sure the staff does not clean those things, if that's how long a person can be dead inside of one of them and not be noticed. And so, once again, employees are doing... Oh no, I'm gonna say something controversial. I'm gonna sound like a grandpa for a minute, and I'm gonna say, these damn kids don't do their jobs like they had to back in my day. There seems to be a trend. There was also an office space where a woman died at her office and nobody noticed for multiple days. There seems to be a trend of people who are just simply not doing their jobs, or not checking on the facilities, not cleaning things. And in the worst case scenario, you get caught because somebody dies, and because you weren't doing your job of like mopping the floors or cleaning shit up or doing your manual checks, nobody fucking noticed. And that... And after nobody's noticed, well, now you have the whole fucking world staring at you and judging you and what you're doing. So, like, all I'm asking, dude, is, like, send some of your employees into the tanning beds, into the bathrooms. Send your employees to go and check these things. And I get that it feels, like, childish at this point. Like, I hate being micromanaged. And I always feel like the idea of having, like, an employee log, because we used to have those. I used to work at Tim Hortons, which is, like, the Canadian version of Dunkin' Donuts. And if you were a staff member who was assigned to check on certain things, you were given the task, and you also had to sign off that, like, I am the person who checked these bathrooms, I am the person who washed these dishes, I did this and that. And it was a level of micromanaging that a lot of people really, really hate. I hated doing it, but... You know, it was like for accountability purposes. And at this point in time, it seems like when you don't micromanage people and force them to like do their little log sheets and take accountability for what they're checking on, it seems like nobody checks on anything. So it's almost like this cruel world where it's like, really, you're gonna treat your employees like fucking babies and make them sign a log list to say that they did this thing? But it's like, you know what? If people are literally dropping dead and let's say there's 2 different shift rotations per day. That's like 6 different shift rotations of employees, not a single person found a dead body in one of the rooms of your gym. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you do need one of those logs, and maybe you do need to start holding people accountable. That's crazy. Anyways, that's my fun story for the day. We're not here to investigate the man who died in Planet Fitness, though. We're here to investigate the homicide in the courtroom. And that is exactly what I intend to do. Alright, Edgeworth, he's shooketh. What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers in here. Weird, it smelled like flowers in the other room. Uncle Bad, is this it? Isn't that Detective Bad and Kay over there? It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. Oh, right, she made a run for it. Oh, it's perfume!
No, that's not quite it.
Oh, too bad, it's really pretty.
I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But, since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it.
Thanks, I'm gonna treasure it always and forever, yeah, okay.
Well, those two seem to get along rather well.
Oh, here, I got something else for you.
Oh my god.
Oh, yay, thank you, Uncle Bad.
More Swiss rolls. Girl! I don't want to be the dance mom parents that is a little bit cunty, but if you keep packing those things down like there's no tomorrow, you're gonna get fat.
Earlier, I ate one of these with Gummy.
Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe.
Gummy is, he was trying to be nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble, and then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Oh, Gummy. Hiccups! I know he didn't kill Daddy, though!
Oh, don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying.
I'm not crying! I can't cry in front of strangers. It breaks Daddy's rules.
Kay.
Oh, it's the mister from before. Oh, and that lady, too.
Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? He really said, can't you get out of here?
You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Oh, actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation.
Is that correct, Detective Bad? You've taken a child under your wing.
Really? You're gonna give me lip about taking a child under my wing?
You know, it just seems like that sort of thing happens in the Ace Attorney universe.
What? You were just scolding us like little kids to not mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? What the fuck is wrong with you?
People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things she wanted to look into. You got a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. I bet she's fabricating evidence to make a falsified crime scene. If I had anything to say about it, I was gonna put that on my shirt. No, I'm not.
Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay?
All right.
Ooh, pardon me.
counting on you.
Oh, that's right. Hey, mister.
What is it? Oh, it's the hiccups. This always happens. Fuck me, I'm Moment. Let me get a glass of water. I'll be right back. I just want to drink with you. Ah, refreshing. Nothing like some dihydrogen oxide.
I know Gummy isn't the bad guy, so if you could just please find the real bad guy, okay?
Girl, that is what I've been trying to do for like a week and a half. I won't forgive whoever did this, but in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there's no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. Also, I know this is probably like profile. No, this wouldn't be profiling. This would be making assumptions. I think Callisto, you is the big bad, also because I'm from the future, and guess what? I've never seen no fucking I've never seen no Miss U working as a defense attorney around these parts. So, what about that? Where the fuck does she go in the future? Maybe she doesn't exist in the future in the court of law because she gets fired and disbarred after she gets caught as a murderer. A big fat murderer. Yeah. Well, this child wandered off while I was out pondering and fingering suspects. That's fine, I don't need her. Alright, let's start investigating. Let's talk to Big Bad. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for?
Nothing that concerns you, boy.
Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay?
It does because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste.
It sounds like you'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again.
I don't have anything to say to you.
Oh, but look at my finger, look how it wags. Be that as it may, we still have questions that need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Oh my god, Edgeworth, you can't just ask people why they smell like that. Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate!
It's that ultra-strong perfume that you wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. Didn't think twice and opens the window. But that smell's still here.
Perfume, huh? So the sweet scent in the air is perfume.
Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand.
She said it's a famous brand from overseas.
What, overseas in the West? Is she wearing a fucking cow's anus on her face?
I don't know that that's how it works.
It's a knockoff. Definitely.
Look, no disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it.
Excuse the fuck out of me! I was born with a much more expensive and refined palette of perfumes. However, seeing as how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it off your hands. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle of perfume without fail.
Ugh. Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? Alright, Miss U's perfume, given to Bad by you. Same perfume as the one spilled in lobby number 1. Nice. Now we can smell like a woman. Well, now we have the perfume Miss U wears. Just fantastic.
Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating.
Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. Of course I do. Well, let's get to it. So you were in this room the entire recess.
Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here.
At least your story is consistent.
Earlier you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu.
Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here.
Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in two different locations.
I guess I am.
Interesting. So you weren't with her the whole time.
Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you.
Oof.
Let's see, Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG-8 incident, and as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on that case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on the case.
You knew that?
I also know that today's trial involving the Cadopian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG-8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me, and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday, and the KG-8 incident.
If you already know that much, I guess it would be alright to tell you.
Ooh, drama! Alright, spill all the tea with me, it's just the boys talking. Oh, and Franny. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG-8 incident.
It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved. You two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell you.
Oh. Oh, it's a sucker. This music, oh boy, here come the feels.
Here's the honest truth about the KG-8 incident. Faraday, you and I, as you already know, we three were involved in the KG-8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trial of a smuggling ring. The trail of a smuggling ring.
Right. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group secretaries.
That trial was just a front.
A facade?
Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed.
And then what became of the secretary who was arrested?
His name was Colin Devori.
Les gasp! I know him! He dies. But like 6-7 years in the future. This also is information that I think we already knew. I don't know why I'm gasping here. I'm sorry. It's been a minute. I'm unpacking.
To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway.
Right. And then he gets arrested and he gets separated from his daughter who does the kidnapping with him. Yeah.
Devore was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat.
The boss man of the Amano Group. He couldn't possibly mean Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling?
I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Koken, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once for her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go?
If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him.
That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect the both of them.
Miss Yu did mention that as well, about how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister.
But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap.
What kind of a trap?
The holes in this jacket are just a testament to that trap.
Wait, oh my god, his jacket's full of holes, it's like Swiss cheese. You were shot at? Those are really giant bullet holes.
were shot that many times from gunfire?
No. Only about half of these are from that case. But, the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident.
About being a failure? Sorry. I see.
I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We'd hit a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned at least, and that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. And that's when I first met Callisto Yu.
Alright, tell me more about that. About when you first met Miss Yu. It was on the day the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not?
Yeah, Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back. That's what she said to us. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face.
Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, and you let my sister die, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough.
I suppose not. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again.
And yet after that, you've seen her many times over, is that correct?
Yeah, Faraday and I, even after the KG-8 incident, had come to a close. We continued to hunt down the smuggling ring. Don't know why I said it like that. And we got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring.
Is the ring really that big?
It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial, related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead and detective, I took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them. Yeah. Yu was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason.
Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect.
I have my own agenda here. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG-8 incident, alright?
And for that you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer.
Don't go putting fucking words in my mouth. I never said such a fucking thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rel was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him. Ever. So don't you dare suggest that I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable!
You're a little too naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you, that's how naive you are.
I don't like that. Can we skirt by that?
How dare you insult the daughter of a Von Karma!
Just like us, you felt that she had to hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all.
The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it. It's only a skill. It's only the skill of the craftsman.
You two are both still a little too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is this. We met you again, in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all.
Okay, what about your relation with Faraday? So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well.
I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together.
And yet you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case.
Who's Kay's mom? Nobody ever has a mom. Did we touch a nerve?
I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. to prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. And I would have done it if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But it looks like I'm not going to be doing that either.
I sense there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarasu is necessary.
Alright, let's do it.
You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me?
What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent toward Faraday and Rel.
I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarasu.
What?
The KG-8 incident and this second KG-8 incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which these cases differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, both of them were killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd?
Well, yeah, that's the whole, yeah. Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already!
I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time.
A reason, huh?
And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu.
Well, if it'll help you solve this case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we never caught the Yatagarasu.
Well, Jesus fuck, why are we talking in circles here? What was the sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. Just get to the point, Jesus.
But hey, what are you whipping me for? Is it still accidental?
Alright, look. There's three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu knows exactly how to disarm the security system. And third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever.
I see. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits.
That sounds like an incredibly elusive thief.
The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away.
But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't.
Listen here, little girl. I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kadopian embassy, the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu sent the evidence.
Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others, knew about.
In that case, how could you be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it?
Well, that's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure.
And what sort of card is this?
Well, here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was.
And so that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now.
If the calling card was something that was published in the papers, wouldn't any random copycat killer be able to, or copycat thief be able to replicate the card?
They showed me the newspaper, making it look like that detail was published information, but maybe it is not supposed to be published information? I don't know. I'm getting confused. Alright. Oh, damn. Did you guys see that man's ass? Fucking Christ, the jiggle physics. Hi, have you been hitting squats? Do you want to teach me a thing or two? Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, sorry. Yes. His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you?
Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive.
I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself. And to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Yes. Oh, guys, we have a firearm discharged on the table. September 10th, District Court, courtroom number 3. Do.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. Sigh.
Jeez, don't sound so happy to see me. It appears that His Honor is still a bit dispirited.
For the first time today, I was experiencing what it was like to stand at the witness stand. Sigh. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony.
Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict.
Francisca, there's no need to further depress His Honor.
I'm not trying to, Miles Edgeworth.
Your Honor,
Huh?
I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me.
Huh.
Your Honor, the evidence?
Your Honor! What's going on? Edgeworth, could I help you?
I'm here to collect the evidence, sir.
Your Honor, do you think you could stay focused long enough to do your job? Of all things.
Sorry. And I would expect that the defense attorney has yet to arrive.
She's busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we?
Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. They're also included, so just go on ahead and use them in your investigation.
Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding the case. And perhaps even something that will finally lead me to the truth.
I've placed all the evidence over on the prosecutor's bench.
So I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. Alright, let's go take a looky look. Let me start over here, can I? Can I look at this piece? Excuse me? Hello? Evidence that Miss Yu prepared is just sitting here on this table.
You know you can't just walk off with that, right?
Of course I do. Miss Yu must have been caught off guard by her client's sudden accusation. I wonder how she would have defended Mr. Rell in that case if he wasn't— Let's look at it! Let's steal it! Come on. If I had Maya with me, she would already have that in her pockets. Alright, so this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial for Mr. Faraday.
You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right?
Yes, finally we can now take a look at the evidence itself and not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them.
Do you mean look at—
I do, I mean let's look at every nook and cranny.
Agreed. Let's take a good look at every nook and cranny from the embassy murder too.
And why is that?
Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about.
Oh. Look, just don't point your crop at me because you don't know something.
And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today.
I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma.
It's also real to see the knife up close.
So we have the knife, the gun, an envelope, and, what's this organizer doing here?
Oh, that's right. I forgot to tell you this.
About what?
They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help with the investigation.
Detective Bad said that.
Well, what a strange stroke of luck.
Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it, too. I won't rest until I've inspected every nook and cranny. But first, what is that you're saying? Go look at the judge's bench? I can try. Oh, wow. Look! It's me! Judge Edgeworth. Miles at your attorney at law. Look at me go. I'm gonna play with the gavel.
This must be the judge's desk. You can tell by the gavel sitting.
Francisca! I had a dream once that I was being squashed from above by this gavel. Wow, so did Phoenix. You guys are really, like, meant to be with each other.
You're such a weakling, Miles Edgeworth.
You have no idea how frightening it was. I do. Alright. I was hoping we were gonna find something dirty under his desk, but that's fine too. Alright, sorry, nooks and crannies. Let's look. Start with the firearm. Alright, the gun. It was originally used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police officer found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest.
And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic.
Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. Alright, let's look at the knife. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday.
Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act?
And it's never crossed your minds that you use your riding crop for the wrong purposes. Horse girl Franny. Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it.
It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here.
I have collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one. Surveillance tape? It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in this case. The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rell is not the real Yatagarasu. And it would also appear that he had proof that Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up. Huh. It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Yes, I do believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim that Mr. Rell may have made about being the real Yatagarasu.
And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder.
This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read-through later. Is there more to read than what I just read?
Look! There's a picture stuck between the pages here.
It appears to be a key.
And a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. It looks just like the knife.
The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu's key that Mr. Faraday had mentioned the organizer?
The Yatagarasu's key?
Detective Bad said something earlier.
What's different about this time was that the evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cadopian embassy, the Yatagarasu.
Right. Boys, who's got their Ace Attorney shot games for the ready? Were unnecessary flashbacks from 5 minutes earlier? Here we are, boys. Oh, yeah, I do remember this interaction. It did happen today, in fact. I do appreciate these, though, when it happens, like, yesterday or, like, last week. Okay.
Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe.
As the prosecutor on both the Yatagarasu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. Photo of the key that Yatagarasu sent, it has a rather unusual shape. You know, that's rather odd.
What is it?
Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer.
That certainly is odd.
The weapon that was used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from?
Isn't it obvious? It was brought to the courthouse by Mr. Rel. That's the only logical conclusion, right?
No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside.
Well, in that case, how do you suppose the knife ended up inside the courthouse?
That's a good question. I need to think carefully about this. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence.
Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me?
Actually, I'm just thinking aloud here, Francisca. And I do know the answer.
Well then what is it?
One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. The key? The key has a handle that seems to match the handle of the knife. But let's play it safe really quick, because I don't know. One of the bags strewn on the floor has Faraday's blood on it. Retaining fountain pen used by the left-handed Faraday. Looks like it has a quality nib. The check, the balloon, the promises, the Swiss rolls, Bad's testimony, Faraday. I think it's this.
Take that!
This Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse.
You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth.
You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything?
Well, they do remind me of the knife.
Very good. Both the Yatagarasu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife.
Wait, so you don't mean to say...
Oh, yes I do, Hunty. It appears you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same.
But that's impossible.
Even if that's what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine this knife a little bit more closely, shall we? Alright. It's the weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The handle and the blade itself both have beautiful designs of work into them.
Look! There's even a flower-shaped design in this gold section here. If this hadn't been used as a tool for murder, I'd want it for myself.
It is pretty, I will say that. If you're gonna murder, you're gonna murder in style. Alright, what else is suspicious? I think... Oh, hello? What are you? Shing! Well, would you look at that? Wow, that happened so fast.
I can't believe it! It turned into a key! To think that there was such a trick to this thing!
So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yatagarasu stole. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Okay, Yatagarasu's key data updated in my organizer.
Well, frankly, I'm shocked!
Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he didn't have any idea that the key was hiding a knife behind its blade, behind its... that there was a knife hidden inside of it.
But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to the knife's trick could have killed Mr. Faraday.
Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than Mr. Faraday, meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place, the Yatagarasu! The great thief Yatagarasu.
Well then maybe Mr. Rel really was the Yatagarasu. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario?
No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad had stated earlier,
But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea.
I see. Well, alright then. I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yatagarasu.
So it seems that this key is truly the key to solving the case. Knife data updated in the organizer. Hell yeah. Alright, we learned a lot. Can I look inside of this? What's in here? Well, I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started.
Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it.
I suppose I should explain it to you then.
Yes, you should. Perfectly, and in its entirety, if you please.
On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mac Rel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot.
A simpleton of a man. That's what he was.
Perhaps, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rel was caught in the act on film by a security camera.
Wow. He was an even bigger simpleton than I'd thought. I cannot believe that he didn't notice a security camera.
The Cadopian Embassy's security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. Birds. They're hiding cameras in birds.
So have you seen the content of the video for yourself?
Oh! Well, yes, the surveillance video that the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. And you can clearly identify Mr. Rel on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear.
So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life.
Me neither. Girl, try going to fucking the Kingdom of Kurain and seeing it from their own fucking eyes. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court.
The surveillance video is missing? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rel committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed?
Are you done with your inspection of the evidence?
Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I'm missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence.
Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties?
No, I don't lick my duties. What do you take me for?
No, Your Honor. The most important piece of evidence in today's trial, the surveillance video, it's not amongst the evidence that you laid out for me.
But, I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere in the crime scene.
Oh. Good job, Judge. Something's wrong here. Oh. Uh-oh. Red flag alert. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime. Defendant lobby number 2. To the lobby! Oh man, this guy's here? Damn. The Wolfman looks so much better suited up in his uniform than he does in his gaudy little fucking coat. This is a look I could get behind. Alright. You guys know what I'm doing tonight after we finish stream. I'm going to go look for fan art of Wolfman in this uniform. September 10th, 6 o'clock p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 2. Wait, that's Detective Bad. But who is he with?
I've never seen that officer before.
Well, did you find it?
No, not yet. And I looked everywhere.
I see. Well then, please continue with the search.
Understood. I'll continue the search. Fuck! It's fine. Give yourself a minute. Control your fucking diaphragm, George. Jesus. Alright, I'm sorry, you were saying, handsome?
Heh! So you're the one running this show. You know, prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes.
Well, how dare you? Just who do you think you are? I don't know, but he's a stud. What was that all about, and who was that man just now?
Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life.
Okay, but he was kind of handsome, right? Does he even know that we're standing here right behind him? Also, Sir Shady, hello, welcome to the chat. Happy to have you here.
I know you're standing there right behind me. What do you want, kids?
It looks like you were paying attention after all.
He's staring into his mirror.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head.
Right. He was looking in a mirror. It's time for him to keep an eye out for who or what is behind him at all times. Alright, tell me this, Detective Bad. Who was that rude man just now?
The guy came here from the Republic of Zhangfa to study. His name is Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch.
Wow. By visiting various police departments around the world. He certainly has a lot of dedication.
He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort coming from him. The guy's, more useful than Gumshoe. Even if he is rude.
Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give the prosecutors a hard time.
I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Go back to Germany, Franny. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad?
Earlier, that little girl was poking around in the lobby number 1 as well.
Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you.
You see, I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in this room straight from him. Are you about to do battle? Can I look at his profile first? No, I don't have a profile for him. Shit. Alright, fine. Let's talk. Earlier you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You know, you are quite the busy man, Detective Bad.
Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say.
I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what's happened again, correct?
Look, dude, I don't have anything more to say to you.
Dude? You'll see, I will draw my answer from you one way or another.
But I'd kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation.
I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier, didn't I? That's help enough, don't you think?
Please, we're asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation.
Now don't push me, kid.
I'd like to ask about what happened around here at the time of the crime.
Well, I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time.
Why is he being so coy now?
Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about?
Things you don't know about? But aren't you supposed to know everything?
He should. Or wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. Maybe I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. Alright, fine, I'll show him the key, my lord. Hey, look at this knife! Detective Bad. Did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph?
Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case.
In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same?
What? No, that's impossible.
It looks like he didn't know after all.
This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct?
I suppose so.
However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was in fact a knife.
Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this?
Sounds about right for the police for me. That's just me. I noticed that since a little while ago you appeared to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for.
Yeah, that's right.
And why were you searching for it?
Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life?
Detective Bad, so that we may find the truth, please, testify for me once more.
Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change.
Okay. Let's try this again, my dude. Everybody's so... It's like pulling teeth with these people. Detective Bad, I ask that you testify once more. There's a lot of repetition in here. What happened in lobby number 2, and what you, my guy, just tell me what the fuck happened, for the love of Christ.
My answer's still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this.
Somehow I feel like it's not. I only need this one last time to clear everything up, and find the truth behind this case. Oh, we're doing a tango! Okay. Detective Bad's movements.
I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing off around there. Then we all ran into lobby number 2.
It sounds like the exact same story that he told us before.
Indeed. However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. Sounds like I have to do a lot of pressing. Alright, that's fine, I'll do it. I was in lobby number 1 talking to you. Alright, press that. Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 1? Answer me!
Who knows? She just said that she had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all.
So his answer remains the same as before. Alright. We were talking about some trivial things. No, what? Be more specific. I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu.
Trivial stuff. Nothing important.
That is for me to decide.
Awkward.
Alright. I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. Great, we are getting nowhere. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary?
I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. What? Other piece of evidence? Huh? Which piece of evidence? Heard gunshot. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. All right, let me see if my brain can figure this one out. Didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. Is it the balloon? Like you didn't hear the balloon pop? This would have been a sound.
Objection!
Oh yeah, sure enough. Okay. Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything?
It's the same color as the one that Kay was holding.
Oh, so you knew about this girl's balloon?
Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her.
Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon.
So, what about the balloon?
I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point.
What are you getting at?
This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot.
Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh?
On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene.
Correct. Which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway. When you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad, and if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well.
So?
What do you mean, so? Don't give me a so.
We just proved that there's a flaw in your testimony.
The crackling of truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivety cracking. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place are so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked.
What is that supposed to mean?
Means the walls are thick and therefore they keep out sound, I guess.
The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of special sound-absorbing material.
Then you mean to say...
Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have been the one to hear that sound.
But, no!
I knew that's what he was going to say.
Then that means that Scruffy Face's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms were soundproof, then of course he wouldn't have heard any sign of a struggle.
Oh, fuck me! Oh, we're losing progress fast.
That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping.
Is it?
Now do you get it, kids?
Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Not the other way around.
The other way around. It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine this situation in reverse, the person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot?
What do you mean, how? I just did.
It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words.
Huh? How so?
If the rooms are as soundproof as you claim them to be, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears?
I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought.
Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to?
It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again. Right. The state of the crime scene. Or wait. Could it be... It's that ultra-strong perfume that you wear. She spilled some of it. Is this how we're gonna prove that the windows were fucking open? Oh, it's way too noisy. Lobby number 2's television. It looks like it was set to an incredibly high volume. Right. Surveillance. And the It's all the fumes of that perfume. They are all ruminating in my nostrils, my nasal passages. Boys! I've got answers. The surveillance video showed a gunshot. So that would be a noise, the sound of the gunshot. The television in the defendant lobby was turned up to like max volume. If the gunshot video was put into that television cranked up to max volume, that would make the sound of the gunshot for everyone to hear. And then, of course, you've got the perfume smell, which is probably going to prove that the perfume was able to travel through the windows, so obviously the sound was able to travel through the windows. That's how it's heard. So the whole thing was staged, which means there wasn't a gunshot in defendant lobby number 2, which means Callista Liu, who took Mr. Bad into defendant lobby number 1, this suspicious little hunty, she was creating
an ally. Oh, I really want to talk with you in lobby number 1. Please, right next door to lobby number 2, where there's 2 open windows. And oh my goodness, is that video with the gunshot playing? Bang! Oh no! A gunshot in defendant lobby number 2. Let's run ourselves over there. Oh, dead bodies. Well, clearly I'm not the bad guy because I was with Detective Bad in defendant lobby number 1 at the time. So the murder didn't happen at the time that we think it happened. At the time we think it happened. Everything, just like every Ace Attorney case ever, the time of the murder has been fucked with. Yes. My sound got desynced. Am I not aligned properly? Hello? Hello? Do I need to dick around and try to fix that? Hi. Hi. Hello. A little more feedback would be greatly appreciated. Might have just been on my end. Well, I'll hope so. If it continues to look bad, people say something or forever hold your peace. Anyways, I solved the case, everybody. We can go home now. How could a piece of evidence have just disappeared? Where did it go? Okay. Oh, here we go. All right, let's put it all together. The lobby window dissipating the smell. A window in lobby number 1 was open to allow the perfume to dissipate. No one can climb through. The scent of flowers was in the air. Both windows are open. Yeah. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows, and yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. Okay. Open windows, very loud television, connect these. Now then, what else besides a smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows are open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. Missing evidence, gunshot can be heard. Here it is, boys. I just did all the work. Now we just gotta put the puzzle pieces together. This is an easy one because I figured it out. The missing piece of evidence is a video. A video that shows the moments in which Mr. Rell kills the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess, and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence has created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place.
Miles, what the fuck are you going off about? Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again.
It's not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look.
And where would that be?
I believe we should examine the television.
The TV! Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like.
Begin investigate. Oh, wow, we're just beginning the investigation? I won't rest until I've inspected every. I know what I'm looking for. The VCR. Go for the VCR. It's a video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside.
It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end.
Could this tape be the missing surveillance tape?
I suppose, but...
Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of this video?
Go ahead, knock yourself out. Sure hope it isn't fucking porn we're about to play in front of a child.
Alright then, let's rewind and see what we're looking at.
Don't worry, I would never show porn to a minor. Only a brutal murder of a gunshot entering a person. Raw murder footage. Like a respectable attorney.
If I remember correctly, the footage of Rell killing the embassy staff member Should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape.
Understood. This should be about right. Now let's take a look.
Dear God! You've just shown me the footage of a man's murder! What the fuck is wrong with you?
I knew it! The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. Damn straight. We got it.
This sound. Wait. What's the meaning of this?
It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot that he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder.
Do you mean that you figured it all out, then?
Yes, I do. And all I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from.
Alright, fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced.
Now to show what the gunshot Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. I won't rest until I've inspected every nook and cranny. Alright, they heard it through the window. Wait. Oh, shit. What am I doing? Whoa! No! We're not done here. The gunshot was, and alright, we have to do a two first. Start with what the gunshot was. So the gunshot was the television. So, roll the rest of the clip! Eureka! This piece of evidence will clear away the last remaining contradiction in this case.
Miles, I believe that piece may actually be proof of— FUCK
You! I object! I know what I'm doing! This is the answer! Go fuck yourself and sit on a cow! God damn it! What do you want me to do? Fuck! I'll do the window! Eureka! Ah! Figures. If the door and the windows to the crime scene, namely this room, were in and were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser.
That's true. The courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were.
However, what happened in reality was, Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot.
Well, the windows in lobby number 1 and number 2 in the hallway were open, so naturally the people in those locations could hear it.
But then why would the criminal open the window in the first place?
To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose.
Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this.
But why would that have been necessary in the first place?
We are faking an alibi, people. Oh my god, catch up. It's painful to be so ahead of them.
I want a real answer, Miles, and I demand satisfaction.
Very well, I believe the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of? When the crime took place, my goodness. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. Here we go. Now we're on a roll.
So that's why the tape was left running.
You mean the gunshot that I heard was from this video?
Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we had thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period, and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Hell yeah, give me back my life, my logic, my credibility, my dignity. That ass.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Yes, what is it?
Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something.
It appears Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Tell her I'll be right over.
I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say.
It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth.
Hell yeah!
To be continued. Wow, perfect timing almost. Alright, I mean, a little bit early, but we're fine. Save your progress? Fuck yeah. Callisto, you've got some explaining to do. And you're going to do it possibly tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Thursday. I am visiting my parents tomorrow. I might be home in time to stream. If I'm not back home in time to stream tomorrow, I will stream on Thursday. Yes. Cool. All right. If you guys could please leave a like on the stream. The engagement is super helpful. Thank you for spending your evenings with me, and I will see you for the confrontation with Callisto U tomorrow at 7 or Thursday, pending familial activities. See you guys then. All right then. Toodles, boys.